Kevin Smith, nice to talk to you on a beautiful, sunny, sort of rainy Sunday morning.
Always good to see you too, Dave. It's a pleasure.
So we're sitting at May 24th here.
Oh yeah, wow, man, the month is going by. You're right.
Now, so you figured everything was just boring enough. You decided to be president of the Rotary again?
Well, that's the thing, right? We were quarantined when we came back from the States, and then, of course, the limit on groups and all that. So I actually signed up last year to help the club again. I was president in 2006, so we had a succession challenge, for lack of a better term. The person who was supposed to move up moved out of town, so that kind of put us in a bit of a quandary. So two of us stepped back up to fill in for the club until we could get some new succession planning in place. So yeah, as of July 1st is the start of Rotary year, and that's when I'll be taking over the year. So right now, my official title, Dave, is president-elect.
Oh, right on. That sounds pretty official.
Well, every club, you got to have titles, buddy. You got to have titles.
Well, it's excellent that the club has some experienced people this year specifically, because it's going to be very challenging. Tell me about the challenge in this COVID pandemic world we live in.
Dave, I don't know how long this podcast is, but wow, did I have a great year to come back in as president. Holy jeez. So obviously, one of our huge challenges, I'll give you the kind of the Reader's Digest condensed version if I can. So one of the biggest challenges was I got back from Florida early because we were told to. And then what happened is all of our weekly meetings are canceled because we can't meet in person. At Rotary, we normally meet for our club for a lunch meeting every Thursday at noon. So those are all canceled. So now we've got to try to figure out how to continue to have meetings with our members. So there's kind of a mad scramble. Our district has been, Rotary has districts. So there's over 35 clubs in our district. And they bought Zoom, license for Zoom, and we started frantically putting together Zoom so that we could have our meetings with our members and stay engaged. Like, okay, geez, the meetings are canceled. How do we stay in touch with each other besides email? And then, of course, all of our fundraising is canceled. So, and this has been an ongoing discussion with other people. We have, service clubs, of course, rely huge on our fundraising in order to do projects in the community, and other areas. So our bingo that we work bingos up at the airport road there, well, that was canceled. So there's a huge chunk of money. And then we had to cancel our Lobster Fest. That's virtual lobster is a little challenging. So that was our other major fundraiser. So all of our fundraisers are shut down for this year.
And it wasn't easy even before that, right? Like last year was a challenge. Like it's more and more of a challenge for all the service clubs, right?
Dave, you're absolutely right. And thank you for, I appreciate you understanding that. It has been more and more of a challenge as the years have gone by to come up with kind of unique fundraising. Everybody's out there trying to get funds. And you're right, each year has been more of a struggle. The cost of things go up. You have to raise prices. People will go, oh, I don't know. It's for a great cause. Yeah, well, still. So, then to have this come at us, it's like, okay, now we have zero fundraising mechanism. Zero. So now that's the other thing that's put on my plate for the coming year is no fundraising mechanisms in place right now. And of course, the other huge challenge, even if we come up with ideas, is so many businesses have been closed and have lost huge amounts of money. So many people have been laid off or reduced hours or reduced pay. I mean, my own nephew, he's thank heaven, still working, but he's reduced pay. So even if we come up with ideas, is it going to be viable in our community in the current state of affairs? And we're all going to be in the same boat. So, if you've got a fundraiser plan for November, maybe, if your club does, but maybe. But to have a lobster fest with 450 people in that auditorium, in that room at Canadore is not going to happen. So I don't see until there's a vaccine. So okay, so we have to have.
There's good news there. I just shared it on Facebook. They're actually looking at a bit of a cure where they have synthetic antibodies that do the same thing a vaccine would do to help boost you to direct towards this particular virus. Well, they're working on, and a bunch of different places working on a cure where they have synthetic antibodies that when you're sick, they can help you right away in this particular treatment. So I'm hopeful for that.
To boost the immune system so you can fight it off.
When you're sick. You're like, yeah. So just in case, say you have a vaccine that doesn't work or doesn't work as well as you hope, you're still going to have people sick. Well, once you get to the hospital, you can actually have an antibody injection that's synthetic that can help fix you despite not being able to, your body not being able to do it all by itself, right? So.
Oh, that's been, they are coming up with some amazing stuff. I have high expectations, and there will be something coming down the road. However, until that happens, I just can't see any large gatherings of people. I just can't see it. So,
no.
So my year as president, Rotary does a ton of training ahead of your taking over again. And even though I've done it before, I still need to go through all the training. So all of that has gone virtual, which is a good and bad thing. It's got both sides to it. I can do it very easily from my office. I don't have to travel to district training. But, we're trying to get all that training in. And on the same token, all of the Rotary world and all of the Kiwanis world, I'm sure, and Kinsmen and all of the other organizations are trying to figure out, where do we go from here? How do we stay relevant? How do we stay engaged with our members? How do we stay engaged with our communities? So it's been a frantic, paddle like hell trying to figure out all of this in a very, very short period of time, right? Like this hit, and then it was just all hell broke loose. So it's not like we've had time to prepare for all this. It's been a frantic, okay, well, what are we going to do next? What's our next step? So where we've been at. And fundraising is certainly, actually, to be honest, it's kind of been pushed down a little bit. The main thing is to stay engaged and to stay active with our members. So that has worked phenomenally well, to be honest. Our attendance on Zoom meetings has been phenomenal. I've been blown away. We are really, really impressed. And, there's always positives come out of crisis, right? And so we're looking at now, instead of a weekly meeting in person every week, once things go back where we can meet, we're looking at adding Zoom meetings to replace a couple of in-person, because for some people, it is so convenient for them to call in from their office. So, there's always positives you can take out of these, out of any crisis.
I actually like that option. Like being involved with a club is a big commitment, and sometimes you just can't get to where the meetings are. It's very tough time constraints, competing priorities. Having that option is, I think, really a good idea. Right on. Yeah.
But regardless, I'll tell you, it's as districts was saying to the incoming presidents, and we are fully cognizant, it is going to be a very, very challenging year ahead. So we're all in the same boat. There's certainly nobody who's got a free pass on this for service clubs, and you're aware of it, but I don't think a lot of people realize how much service clubs and fraternal clubs put into their communities. It's a huge contribution. And so
there'll be ripple effects right through the community with this.
Absolutely. And now the city's hurting. All the cities are hurting because their revenues were down. So it's not like they're going to step in and do the things that we can't do because we don't have any money. The cities aren't going to have any money to do those projects either. Like, a really good example is we got the splash pad in last year. And the splash pad was huge dollars. I mean, huge dollars. And we got provincial support and federal support and city support of North Bay. And that enabled it to move ahead. Thank heavens we did it last year. Because trying to get that together this year would just... so, that's an example of a project that if we were in the phase of trying to put that now, we're done. Like, really, we're just done. So this is an example of projects that are just not going to happen. There's just not going to be the funding or the ability to go to businesses for sponsorships. I mean, these businesses have just been ravaged by this. So, it really is going to be an interesting year ahead.
So what is your plan at this point?
Well, thank you for asking that. It's constantly evolving. It's the biggest one, and it's been working great. So we've done a couple of projects to keep people engaged and to keep people feeling like they're still contributing to their communities. One of them is we partnered up with Clean, Green, and Beautiful North Bay with Harriet Madigan. We have collected at this point over 25 bags of garbage from various sites in the city. It's Rotarians joining with other people and under the banner of Clean Green, but we are what we call in our Rotary Club a service squad. So it's small groups that we had this before, and it's actually been a miracle for during the crisis, because the idea was to have just multiple projects that require small numbers of people, where if you don't want to do this, maybe you'll want to do the next one, and we only need a few people to do it. So this was absolutely a perfect fit. We've already did it in the fall. So, because one or two of us could go out and pick up garbage. So that's really simple. So we've been doing that. I've been posting to the Clean, Green, and Beautiful Facebook site so that people see our club still out there. We haven't disappeared. This is critical. Not only do I have to engage the members, but I need people in the city to see that we're not stopped. We're slowed down, and we kind of tuck it in the groin a little bit, but we're still out there and we're still working hard. So that project, and we just donated 60 liters of hand sanitizer to regional volunteer fire departments. And we were going to be donating to the local OPP detachment because they kind of had a crisis of supply. However, they got their supplies in. So the new Rotarian we have, Carrie from the OPP detachment, said, look, I got a call from the paramedics. They're out of sanitizer. Their supplies aren't coming in. Let's take my side of the donation. And so on Friday, we went up and delivered a whole pile of hand sanitizer to the paramedics in North Bay. So because they were basically out, Carrie was from the OPP was loaning them some of hers to try to keep them going.
Oh, so that's right on.
Well, and we took some club reserves that we had some funds in the bank. So we took some reserves, and we had the members each kick in $25 towards this. So we're saying, okay, let's still stay relevant, guys. So we're looking for projects. District has come up with a grant system now from Rotary International, has put money back towards the clubs. So we're going to be specifically for COVID-19 projects. So we're hoping to use some of those funds to keep going with this. We seem to have found a sweet spot. Sanitizer is still hit and miss with supply. So we're thinking we'll probably continue down that road of trying to make sure the ones who need it most are getting the supplies, because it is very, very iffy supply line. I had a nightmare setting this up, trying to get my hands on, and it was a local Canadian Tire brought in these 20-liter containers. And it was like, hey, all right, no limit, whoa. So, these are two projects that we're trying to keep members going with. And, we needed help labeling. We transferred from 20-liter down into little 4-ounce bottles that could be given individually. So we needed people to fill bottles. We needed people to label them. So anything I can find, Dave, that's hands-on, that keeps people involved in the club, that keeps people feeling like they're still doing something for the community. Because people join service clubs because they want to make a difference. I mean, that's not hot air. That is why people join service clubs. Like, I want to do something in our world to make a difference. Well, all of a sudden the world changed. And but that urge and that need to feel like you're contributing hasn't. So we're trying as a club to provide an outlet for our members to still feel like they're making a difference. And that, to me, as a president-elect, is critical, that I not only keep our community involvement there just for the community to see that our club is still active, but to really take care of our members and make sure they're feeling that we're still making a difference. Maybe a reduced footprint, like, okay, maybe a big reduced footprint, but yeah, we're still doing what we can.
Well, you got to do what you can. How many members do you have in your club?
There's two Rotary clubs in North Bay. There's Rotary Club in North Bay and there's Rotary Club in Nipissing. We're the smaller of the two. We have 29 members, so we're a fairly small club. But and they've always been the North Bay Club was founded in 1923, I believe, and our club was founded in 1985. So what Rotary does is once your club hits a certain size, you're really encouraged, not forced to, but encouraged to spin off other clubs so that it doesn't become too cliquey. You know, when you get 400 or 500 people in a club, man, there's bound to be individual groups within that club. So they spun, the North Bay Club founded our club in 1985. So there's always friendly competition, but, and, you know, teasing back and forth. We have different projects, we have different fundraisers, we have different, but we're all Rotarians. And so the bottom line is we're all a member of the Rotary world. And that's a pretty huge world, frankly. It's over 1.2 million people worldwide in Rotary.
Right on. How long have you been in Rotary?
My line, Dave, is my whole life. Actually, 1991 was when I joined. So I'm heading up on almost 30 years in Rotary. It's I don't know what your involvement with clubs have been, but what inevitably happens is you become so identified with the club that it is part of who you are. Like, it's weird, you know, people are like that with jobs, and I get that people, and they often have problems in retirement. Their job is who they are. I've never had that. I mean, I've always been blessed to have great jobs that I've enjoyed doing, but I've never identified as I'm a, you know, whatever. But the club has. I did a brief hiatus way back when, and I missed it so bad, and it was like a piece of me was missing. So what ends up happening is this becomes part of who I am. I'm a Rotarian, period. It's on my Facebook page. There's a little thing around my photo that says Rotarian. And so after almost 30 years, it's in my DNA now. You're
a lifer, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Until they carry me or kick me out, buddy. They carry me out or kick me out. I think I'm pretty well in for the long haul now. So it's just hard, like I said.
I've only had one experience with the club. When I moved up to, I took a job at the Northern Times in Kapuskasing. My editor, Wayne Major, he was, and you might remember his name from back in the 80s. I think he started at this in Smooth Rock with the Nugget. I'm not sure. Anyways,
I do remember the name, actually.
Yeah. Anyways, he was, he just told me on Tuesday night, you're a member of the Kingsman Club, because that's when they meet or whatever, right? And, well, after we put the paper to bed, we went over there and had in the basement of the Chateau Cap Bar. That's where we were meeting, and I didn't have any choice in the matter. It was just like part of the job, right? But it was fun. It was cool. I got to do a fundraiser with them. I think it was a Terry Fox thing, and you know, we had it was fun. It was we had some poker tournaments and some other things where we did some fundraising. I have a foul mouth, so I contributed a lot to the kitty, and yeah, it was cool. But what I found when I left there is I didn't have a boss telling me I had to do it. But when I got with the Nugget, there was a couple opportunities to join some clubs, but it kind of conflicted with my work and my schedule, so I just couldn't do it. But I always like to try to support the work service clubs do, because I had that little bit of inside view, and I saw how important it was for community. So it's really cool that you guys are still doing that stuff.
Well, thank you. I mean,
Even in these challenging times, right? It's just
well, you can't just roll over and shut down. I mean, I guess you could, but that's not who we are or how we operate. And like I said, I'm dead serious about it being in your DNA. Um, Rotary's International, one of our big, huge things, and Belinda and Bill Gates teamed up with us on this, is eradication of polio. We're down to less than 50 cases worldwide of polio. Like, we're almost there with huge amounts of dollars spent for immunization. But this crisis could set us right back on our asses because there's all these lockdowns, and so we're not getting into communities to vaccinate. So we're really concerned that this is going to have an impact. But we're still active. We're still trying to be out there. The service clubs are all doing the same. I mean, certainly I know people from other service clubs, and I'm talking to them, and we're all facing the same kind of challenges with fundraising.
Do you guys go to group counseling sessions? They're presidents of service clubs during COVID. Like, hi, my name's Kevin. Hi, my name's Kevin. I have a problem.
It's bizarre you say that, man. I just got an email from Rotary International saying, how can we help you during this crisis? I don't know if it's a therapy session. Probably half of it is. But they realize that people are getting stressed right out. Now, I'm a recycle president. I keep saying our club is incredibly environmentally friendly. We even recycle presidents. However, for newbies who have never done this before, it's daunting. There should be a group therapy for these poor guys and girls because they're heading into something where there's no template for this. And so I know our district has been amazing. I keep saying that, but they're constantly trying to come up with things to help train and to help us get through this period, especially, like I said, for ones who are new to the job and they're going, oh, great. Oh, this is going to be an entertaining year. Yay. So I don't know where we're going to be in 6 months. A lot of people are saying, well, how are you guys going to get through this? One project, one idea at a time. Some of my new Rotarians have been just amazing with ideas. That's why I love new people coming in the club. They bring their ideas and suggestions. And so we're just going one project at a time to see what we can do. And of course, it has to be on a minimal budget because we can't deplete all of our reserves. They're not significant enough to deplete quickly like that. So we have to look for opportunities that are more hands-on.
So to wrap up the interview, I'm going to ask you two things. One is, is there anything else you want to stress and get you across? And the other thing would be, how can someone can help? Who do they send the check to? Where do they mail it? Where's the email?
Well, listen, we have a site on Facebook. The bottom line is, I don't know if you have the wherewithal to post it. You can certainly post my name and my email if somebody wants to reach out. I'd be happy to talk to them. I think the biggest thing, and you are certainly an example, a shining example, I might add, and I know you're not used to compliments like that from me, so it must be shocking to you. But it's people like you, and Kojiko did an interview with me, that are helping to keep us out there and to keep people reminded that we exist. So if people want to help, really what we can desperately need is manpower. It's not a good time to recruit, as you can well imagine, new members. So we certainly could use help. And we've had some people help us on projects with Clean, Green, and Beautiful that aren't Rotarians and just decided to join us on a particular area of the city to clean up. And that's wonderful. As far as monies go, we would appreciate any, but we also, like I said, are very cognizant of just what a challenging time it is for everyone. Hell, a lot of people in our club are in the same boat. They're business people, they're organizations, we have a huge variety of different professions in our club. So we get it. We know how tough it is. But I think the biggest thing is just please support how you can and when you can please remember that the service clubs still need help when it comes to manpower and woman power. Sorry for the thing there, but
People power, man. It's
they
people
need
power.
people power. They still need, and people have time on their hands, apparently more than they've had, although things are starting to open up. So we still need people power, and we, of course, if there's an opportunity to donate for a particular project or like the sanitizer, we'd love to have the money. And we are very, very, very rigid about how we spend. Right now, for the last years, I mean, we've never designated more than 5% of any kind of fundraising that go towards administration. We've been at 100%. So 100% of the funds that have been coming in go out for fundraising. So we are very conscious. And Rotary International's got a 4-star rating for its charitable arm, the Rotary Foundation, from Charity Navigator. 92% of all funds coming in are spent. So we're very proud of the fact the monies are distributed.
Definitely one of the leaders in the efficient fundraising and disbursement to communities, for sure. That's one of the reasons why I like to support it. Our magazine, A Bit of the Bay magazine, again, it will be coming out in June, and we hope to have a quarter-page ad donated to your club. So I'll get you busy getting that one prepared.
What a terrific magazine, Dave! And you're a business owner. You're keenly aware of what this has done for ad sales and everything. I mean, I was in the ad game for most of my life, so I kudos to you and your team for keeping things going. And it's a terrific magazine. I love reading it. I look forward to it. And I've certainly had a little bit of extra time since I'm not doing physical meetings to do reading. And it's a terrific magazine. So kudos to you and your team. And I wish you all the best in your endeavors as well. I know that we're all, like I said, what is it, the expression here? We're not in the same boat. We're in the same storm. So
yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, as you know, we moved to a quarterly schedule for the rest of the year just to ride this storm that we were all in out a little bit, right? So we'll see how that goes.
Well, it's adapting, right? I mean, you're faced with that. I think, I don't know of a business that hasn't had to adapt. Even the ones that are like selling hand sanitizer are overwhelmed. It's like, well, how many shifts a day can we put on to make this stuff? Like even the ones that are succeeding or making money are still faced with challenges. So it certainly is a storm, isn't it? But kudos to you and your team, and thank you so much for taking the time today to chat. I really appreciate all of the support we're getting from the media to try to help us to keep the message going that that we need to be kind and we need to help each other and support each other however we can, whatever way works for you individually.
Well, I hope you have a great day.
You too, Dave. A pleasure, sir. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
You too. Thanks.